Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wisdom and Wit, the show that'll make you laugh, cry, and question your life choices, all in one night. I'm Jimmy, and I'm here to warm you up like a cheap microwave burrito. So buckle up, buttercups, cause we're about to take a wild ride through the twisted landscape of my mind. You know, folks, I've been thinking about this whole Gaza hostage situation. Trump's out there saying all hell will break out if Hamas doesn't release those poor souls by January 20th. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear all hell breaking loose, I picture my Uncle Cletus after an all-you-can-eat bean burrito night at the local Taco Bell. I mean, can you imagine the chaos? It'd be like trying to wrangle a greased pig at a county fair, except the pig is armed with nuclear weapons and has a bad case of irritable bowel syndrome. Talk about a messy situation. But hey, at least Trump's got a plan, right? It's like he's playing geopolitical chess while the rest of us are still trying to figure out how to set up the checkers board. And let me tell you, when Trump says all hell will break loose, you better believe it's going to be a spectacle. Now, I'm not saying I know what Trump's got up his sleeve, but I bet it involves more than just a strongly worded tweet. Maybe he'll unleash a secret weapon, like an army of spray-tan negotiators armed with the art of the deal and hair products that could survive a nuclear blast. But seriously, folks, this hostage situation is no laughing matter. It's like trying to defuse a bomb while wearing oven mitts and being distracted by a squirrel on crack. One wrong move, and boom, we're all speaking Klingon and trading bottle caps for toilet paper. And let's not forget, Trump's got his trusty Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, on the case. Now, I don't know much about this Witkoff fella, but with a name like that, I bet he's got some tricks up his sleeve. Probably negotiates like a used car salesman on steroids. You want peace? But hey, at least Trump's taking action, right? It's like he's playing a high-stakes game of hostage or no hostage. I can see it now. Trump in a shiny suit, standing behind a podium, dramatically opening briefcases. Hamas, you've got 34 hostages. I'll give you one McDonald's franchise and a lifetime supply of MAGA hats. Deal or no deal? And you know what? If anyone can pull this off, it's Trump. The man's got more confidence than a rooster in a henhouse. He'll strut into those negotiations like he owns the place, which, let's be honest, he probably wishes he did. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to slap his name on the Gaza Strip. But let's be real, folks. This situation is tenser than a constipated elephant at a proctologist convention. We're all hoping for a peaceful resolution, because the last thing we need is more chaos in the Middle East. It's already got more drama than a soap opera marathon on a rainy Sunday. Speaking of drama, though, you know who's got a flair for the dramatic? Our next guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Donald Trump himself. That's right, folks. We've got the soon-to-be Commander-in-Chief joining us tonight. So, without further ado, let's welcome to the stage the man who's about to make the White House great again, Donald Trump.
Thanks, Jimmy. Great to be here. I just flew in from New York, and boy, are my arms tired of jerking off Rudy Giuliani's ego. Yeah, I said it. Sue me. Speaking of lawsuits, have you heard about Rudy's latest legal troubles? This guy's been found in contempt of court for not coughing up info on his assets. Apparently, he's having trouble satisfying a $148 million defamation judgment. Now, I'm no financial expert, but I'm pretty sure that's more than you can make giving hair dye tutorials on TikTok. But seriously, folks, Rudy's in deep trouble. The judge said he willfully violated court orders. Willfully violated? That's legal speak for fucked up on purpose. It's like when I willfully violate my diet by eating an entire pizza at 3 a.m. Except instead of regretting it on the toilet the next morning, Rudy's regretting it in front of a judge. I've got to hand it to Rudy. He's really living up to his reputation as America's mayor. I mean, what's more American than dodging debt collectors? It's practically a national pastime at this point. Hell, if avoiding paying what you owe was an Olympic sport, Rudy would be bringing home the gold if he hadn't already pawned it to pay his legal fees. But here's the kicker. Rudy missed a deadline to provide evidence about whether he can keep his Palm Beach condo. Palm Beach, folks, where all the regular, everyday Americans live. I bet Rudy's really feeling the pinch now. He might have to downgrade from caviar to gas store-brand fish eggs. And get this, the judge is now saying Rudy can't use emails or text messages to prove the condo's his main residence. I guess I heart Palm Beach GFs don't count as legal evidence. Who knew? But let's be real. If Rudy's text history is anything like the hair dye running down his face, I wouldn't want that presented in court either. You've got to wonder, though. How does a guy go from being Times Person of the Year to not being able to prove where he lives? It's like the world's saddest episode of Where's Waldo? Except instead of a striped shirt and glasses, we're looking for a guy in a suit that smells like mothballs and desperation. But don't worry, folks. Rudy's lawyer says this is all just lawfare and the weaponization of the legal system. Yeah, because nothing says I'm innocent like complaining that the law is being used against you. That's like a bank robber bitching that the cops are weaponizing handcuffs. And Rudy himself? He's saying these demands make it impossible to function in an official way. Official way. What official way? Is professional bullshit artist now an official position? If so, I've got a resume to update. But here's my favorite part of this whole mess. Rudy's lawyers are saying they expect him to eventually win back his personal items on appeal. Yeah, and I expect to wake up tomorrow looking like Brad Pitt. It ain't happening. You know what Rudy really needs right now? A time machine. He could go back to 2001, tap himself on the shoulder and say, "Hey, buddy. In about 20 years, you're going to be tempted to stand in front of a landscaping company and spout some crazy stuff about election fraud. Don't do it. Just don't." But since time travel isn't an option, I guess Rudy's stuck trying to figure out how to pay off $148 million on a diet of Trump steaks and whatever loose change he can find in his couch cushions. Maybe he can start a GoFundMe. You know, in a way, I almost feel bad for the guy. Almost. But then I remember, this is the same dude who tried to convince us that Hugo Chavez rose from the dead to rig voting machines. At that point, my sympathy dries up faster than Rudy's hair dye in a heat wave. But hey, let's look on the bright side. If Rudy does lose his condo, maybe he can crash at Mar-a-Lago. I hear they've got great security, and they're not leaving classified documents in the bathroom. All right, folks, that's my time. But before I go, let me introduce you to our next act. She's sassy, she's brassy, and she's got more zingers than Rudy has unpaid bills. Please welcome to the stage, the one, the only Dixie.
Well, thank you kindly. I haven't seen someone that excited since AOC discovered what a garbage disposal was. Now, y'all ready for some real talk? So, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's gone and banned medical debt from credit reports.
They're acting like they're protecting us from the big bad world of finance.
Honey, I haven't seen this much fake protection since I caught my ex-husband wearing a rubber band instead of a condom.
These bureaucrats think they're doing us a favor, but let me tell you something, the only thing they're protecting is their own jobs. They're like a bunch of chihuahuas guarding a steakhouse.
All bark, no bite, and completely useless when the real predators show up.
And don't even get me started on how they're trying to save our financial futures. Darling, my financial future was ruined the moment I decided to major in liberal arts.
No amount of CFPB magic is going to fix that mistake. You know what would really help our financial futures? Teaching kids how to balance a checkbook instead of how to balance their chakras. But no, we're too busy worrying about pronouns to teach them about compound interest. Now, this whole shebang is happening just days before Biden hands over the keys to the White House. Talk about a last-minute Hail Mary. It's like when I try to clean my house 5 minutes before my mama comes to visit. Sure, it looks good on the surface, but open any drawer and you'll find a mess that would make Marie Kondo cry.
And let me tell you, the incoming Trump administration, they're going to have a field day with this. It's like leaving a pile of unattended chicken wings at a Weight Watchers meeting.
You know someone's going to pounce on that opportunity.
But here's the kicker. These rules are supposedly widely supported. Honey, the only thing widely supported in this country is the waistband of my Spanx after Thanksgiving dinner. Now they're saying this new rule could raise credit scores by 20 points.
Well, slap my ass and call me Sally. 20 whole points. That's almost as impressive as Joe Biden remembering what day of the week it is. But let's be real, folks.
This ain't about helping people. It's about making it look like they're doing something without actually fixing the root of the problem.
It's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound and calling it healthcare reform. And don't even get me started on how this affects housing and loans. They're acting like this is going to solve homelessness.
Honey, the only thing this is going to do is make it easier for people to get approved for homes they can't afford.
It's the housing crisis all over again, but this time with a side of unpaid medical bills. You know what would really help? Actually making healthcare affordable.
But no, that would be too logical. Instead, we're just going to pretend the debt doesn't exist. It's like when I ignore the pile of laundry in my bedroom. Just cause I can't see it doesn't mean it ain't there, stinking up the place.
And let's talk about these states that have already banned medical debt from credit reports.
They're acting like they're so progressive. Honey, the only thing progressive about these states is how quickly they're progressing towards bankruptcy.
But you know what?
At the end of the day, this is just another example of the government trying to solve a problem by creating more problems. It's like trying to fix a leak in your roof by flooding your basement. Sure, you might not notice the leak anymore, but now you've got bigger fish to fry.
Or in this case, bigger fish to swim with. Well, folks, that's all the time I've got.
Remember, if you can't pay your medical bills, just pretend they don't exist. It works for the government, so why not for you?
Good night, y'all. And don't forget to tip your waitstaff. They probably needed to pay off their medical debt.